Well, hi again, you guys. Welcome to another edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records. Here we are. It's December of 2022. Hard to believe. I don't recall if I've made a Christmas edition last year or even the year before. I think in December of 2020 we were out of town, and I went through the archives and grabbed a stack of, I have a couple of crates of 2.5 crates of Christmas records, and boy, you could have a whole collection of nothing but Christmas records, and you wouldn't have room for most of them. There's just so many out there. I do have a couple of good friends in the record collecting who are hobbyists like me and experts, and they certainly enjoy collecting some of the great Christmas records and some of the rare ones as well. So randomly I grabbed a stack of Christmas records. If you're new here, we're just going to show the vinyl record covers. I'm going to talk a little bit about them, not knowing kind of what's in store. It's a little bit of a surprise. I did kind of review them in advance, but I won't know that much really technically about them. But we are going to get to this. I hope you can see this okay. This is like many of the Christmas records that I have are kind of one label will put out, like my favorite is Nipper's Greatest Hits. It's all the RCA artists, and they took Arthur Fiedler, and they took Elvis, and they took Alabama, and they took so many greats that were on that album, and they put a compendium out of the artists on that particular label. I don't know if this has a label behind it. They might all be on this Columbia. This is a Columbia Special Products red label, as maybe you'll see when we go a little bit more from a down angle onto the turntable. So we're going to play a song from this. I'll get to that in a minute, but let's see what I grabbed randomly. Here's Jackie Gleason, Merry Christmas on Capitol. And he is doing just wonderful Jingle Bells, White Christmas. What a phenomenal entertainer. This is on Duophonic, their quality recording. And yeah, you guys recognize the circular rainbow there. Jackie Gleason, Merry Christmas. One of my dad's all-time favorites, spoken word. Here it is, A Child's Christmas in Wales, and 5 poems. Dylan Thomas is reading this. Hans Christian Andersen, I believe, and as well as Under Milkwood, and well, I hope I'm getting that right. But this was always a must-play. Christmas morning, my mom would be in the kitchen, and all the great smells of Christmas, and my dad would put this exact record on, this exact one. This is not a copy. This has been in the Linder family for maybe 60 years now. Yeah. Here's the Very Merry Christmas, Volume 4, exclusively by Grant. So these are these compendiums that come out. Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet, Gary Puckett, Arthur Fiedler, Mel Torme, Johnny Cash. Those are fun. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. The Dr. John Band with Huey Piano Smith and the Clowns. What the heck is this? Other hit recordings by Huey Piano Smith on Ace. No idea. I think I got this from Radio Dave because he's a record collector and he always gets the obscure ones. Here it is. This is a repressing. The Duke Ellington Orchestra, Take the Holiday Train. And he's doing some of the great classics on here. Arrangements by some of the greats. His son Mercer Ellington is the band leader. And some of the other greats here that I don't know. I should know more of their names, but I don't. Charles Brown, not Charlie Brown. Charles Brown sings Christmas songs. This is also on King. I don't know that much about Charles Brown. Here is White Christmas, 20 Unforgettable Christmas Songs. Kind of a repressing. It's really everybody from Mahalia Jackson, Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole. Kind of the usuals, which is fun to have. Here's Old Bambino, the little drummer boy in the Harry Simone Choral on Cap Records. Look at this thing. I just grabbed that randomly. Boy, here's a classic. A Merry Hee Haw Christmas from Buck Owens and his Buckaroos. Look at that. Fabulous, Buck. Way to go. So certainly a lot of the greats. Boy, I could play Christmas records, and I can't play them all. There's just so many in the collection. This is a local recording. Music of Christmas, done by the Immaculate Heart of Mary. It's a high school or a college preparatory academy in the western suburbs of Chicago. And they hired a recording service out of Chicago to come in. And I actually have friends who went to what we called IHM. If you're a local, maybe you know about this this school. How cool that they did this, that they went and hired a recording service to come in and record this. Sister Maria Teresa Magri, IHM vocal and choral directress. Wow, pretty strict. So that's cool. So let's play. This is one of my all-time favorites, the great genius Leonard Bernstein with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, and we're going to do one section of the great of Handel's Messiah. I'll read briefly. Composed in 1741 by George Frederick Handel, the complete masterpiece was first performed in Dublin, after the composer had written the entire work in only 3 weeks. Legend has it that King George II attended the first performance, and he was so moved that he rose to his feet during the final Hallelujah chorus, forcing the audience to rise, a custom followed to this day at performances all around the world. Recorded here by the New York Philharmonic Orchestra with Leonard Bernstein conducting. It's one of my favorites. Well, that's just an absolute masterpiece, performed and conducted by, the greats. Many orchestras around the world continue to play this every season. It's always one of my highlights of this time of year to listen to some of that, and it's part of my original music development when I was listening to my dad's records, jazz, and then all of his Christmas records, which led to this. So this is how this works. This was probably the one and only 2022 Christmas edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records, and we'll crank out a few more of these. We'll normally pick a theme, pick an artist, we'll go through it. As I like to say, the fine print here is I'm a passionate record collector, avid. I love playing records down here. Certainly not an expert. There's wiki and all sorts of other information for that. And there's great shows who know way more about the artist. But I do love the vinyl record format, the way it sounds, the needle, the whole process, and the album cover art, as you guys are finding out along the way. If you like these, that's really great. You can bounce in and out. You can subscribe. Comment below. Those are always nice to read, no matter what is said. And we hope you have a nice towards the end of the year. Happy holidays, all the above. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys back here again next time on another edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records.